It's not just the Junos getting music fans excited in this city. Local Kiss fans will have one more chance to shout it out loud for their favorite band. The iconic glam metal rockers are marking their 50th anniversary with the final world tour, and they'll make a stop in Edmonton on November 10th. One local superfan who'll be there at Rogers Place is Cassius Morris. He runs the Kiss Army Canada Facebook page, also hosts a YouTube music and entertainment channel, which has a heavy emphasis on Kiss. Good morning, Cassius.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
So you started, I understand, a Kiss podcast when you were 10 years old?
That's correct. Yeah, I got started early. Yeah.
Did your parents influence you somehow, or how did you come to be a Kiss fan that way?
My parents definitely influenced me. You know, I grew up in a household with all different types of music, and there was a heavy, influence on the music that influenced the 70s and the 80s. So, yeah, they brought me into it. And then with podcasting, I think it was just right place, right time. Joe Rogan had just started getting started, Adam Carolla. Yeah. And I really maybe just put two and two together and wanted to get my voice heard. Shout out loud, so to speak.
Yeah. There you go. And had you been a Kiss fan already?
Yeah, I was a Kiss fan probably around 6 years old. I was probably one of the younger people in the Canadian Kiss Army at the time.
So when was the first time you saw Kiss?
First time I saw Kiss, I was 10 years old in Halifax, and it was at the Halifax Commons, almost 100,000 people.
Whoa.
One of the wildest memories I'll ever have, and, that's the thing about Kiss. It's always just that nostalgia and those childhood good times that they bring back.
What is it about the band that you like?
I always just love the look, the visual, but, as I've gotten older, I really admire their positivity. That's the one thing about Kiss. They've always influenced their fans to do good, and they've always set out to do good. So they're a very positive force.
They're also incredible business people.
Absolutely.
Right? I mean, they had a vision for their band that was about the music business. Not that they're not artists, because they had some great songs as well, but it's quite different from what the way a lot of people approach music.
They're a band and a brand. It's very hard to say that about a lot of different groups, and that's the thing I think that attracts younger fans to them, is that they're so dynamic and have so many different facets to them.
I saw them at Klondike Days, 1977.
Wow.
I thought it was 76, but then we did a little bit of research and realized, no, that was the year. So I was actually 16 when I saw them, but because it was early in the year. And that was
amazing.
When they were huge, right? That was really the beginning of their career. When you think
I have videotapes to relive that, but
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, I watched the DVDs, but that's the closest I'll get to the 76. So you're very lucky.
There you go.
I've never been to a Kiss show, so can either of you explain what the experience is like? Because it's an experience from what I've heard.
It is.
Yeah. I think Paul Stanley says it best. It's an assault on the senses. You're not going to be able to forget it. It's visuals, it's lights, it's action, fire. It's really hard to compare to any other show. But think maybe Broadway mixed with Disneyland meets metal.
That's a good description.
Very descriptive.
Mind-blowing.
It's performance. It's not just you're not just out there playing music. They are performing their characters, if you want to say.
Yeah, they go into full persona. The fire breathing. Paul Stanley flies out into the middle of the audience. I could go all day. You guys know me.
Yeah. So I understand you've interviewed. Have you interviewed Gene Simmons? Was it?
I got the chance to interview Gene 2 different occasions actually. Wow. Yeah, once at the Edmonton Expo, and the second time we did a little walk-up TMZ style interview at his Moneybag vodka signing.
Oh, right. Yeah. I was over there when he did that too. Yeah. So tell me about the first interview. How old were you then?
At that point, I was 18, and I got the chance to talk with him. I'd met him before at signings, and I think they really appreciated seeing a younger guy going out there trying to, make something out of it. And they've always been very gracious, especially to younger fans. They'll give you the time of day, and I don't think the same can be said for a lot of rockers. No,
you're right. And I think that comes across, and I think that's where the loyalty, I think, comes in as well.
Well, 100% is generations on generations. You could go to a Kiss show and see 3 generations of a family, sitting together. Again, that's a very rare thing.
Yeah. Now, has it influenced you what you wanted to do in the future and what you're doing now?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I started podcasting and broadcasting based on Kiss, and, it's evolved into a career for me now. I work with Watch Mojo, which is a YouTube company with about 25 million subscribers currently out of Montreal. And, this is something I never would have pictured, but Kiss really skyrocketed me into broadcasting, and I really thank them for that.
Now, the band members are, well into their 70s. So when I met Gene Simmons last month, he's an older gentleman.
Yeah.
How are they able to pull off their live show?
I was skeptical about that, especially with the year and a half that the pandemic has left in terms of a gap.
Right.
But you know what? These guys, they're born and bred to do this, and they've been doing it their entire lives. And, I think that it's the adrenaline and the passion of the crowd that keeps them going. So I think they can do it as long as they're physically able to.
Well, they're calling this their final tour. Do you believe that? Or
Well, we've heard that. Even I believe around the time I was born, we heard that. So it's hard to believe, but at the same time, it's hard to believe that they could keep going at this point too. So if there's going to be a farewell, I think this will likely be it.
Now, what about their legacy? Because they've gone through different sort of eras in rock and roll, and different, I think, times where they were appreciated, then they weren't. So talk a little bit about that if you can.
I think that's a big part of the legacy, because through thick and thin, they've always been there. They've had, times where they would throw a guitar pick in the crowd and it would hit an empty seat, and then they had times where they were selling out Tiger Stadium. So I think it's a story of perseverance, and especially the fact that, Gene being an immigrant from Israel, coming in and not even knowing the language, it's incredible, what they did. So I think it's really a story of perseverance.
Are Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley, are they the two drivers of the band? Really?
I would say so. I think any true Kiss fan would say it's Paul's band.
Yeah.
But Gene Simmons is, equally the face of it, I would say.
And then who are the other two? I don't even know the other two.
Tommy Thayer and Eric Singer.
Yeah, and then what are their roles currently? So has that changed?
That's changed throughout the years. There's actually 10 members in total.
Really?
There's 10 members, yeah.
Okay, there. I guess if we went on your podcast, you might learn all this.
There you go.
Is that true?
We got to tune in, yes.
So tell us about the podcast. What do you do on your podcast?
Cassius Morris Official, we do daily music and entertainment content, so it's covering, local events that come to Edmonton, but also things worldwide. We try to support and hold up independent artists and give them a platform in the music scene. So we do many different things, and of course a heavy emphasis on Kiss, and always covering whatever they have coming up next.
How have you evolved as a podcaster and broadcaster how old are you now?
I'm 24.
24. I mean, you're still very young.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people don't even get their start until they're 24. And here you are, I guess, 14 years in because you started when you were 10.
Yeah.
So what are your hopes and dreams going forward? What do you think the possibilities are for you?
Honestly, I would love to start hosting more in the live event space, live streams at music festivals and interviews and live event settings and things like that. And ultimately just keep pursuing this goal and show that, you can do it wherever you are, whether it's, Los Angeles or Edmonton.
I think it's possible, that's for sure. Well, Cassius, thanks for coming in this morning. Wish you the best of luck and hope you enjoy the next Kiss concert.
Thanks so much for having me.
That's great. Kiss superfan Cassius Morris runs the Kiss Army Canada Facebook page. Also talks a lot of Kiss on his YouTube music and entertainment channel, Cassius Morris Official. North American dates for the end of the road tour have now been announced. Kiss will be here in Edmonton November 10th. Tickets go on sale this Friday.